Welcome back to Inspired by Jimmy L, the reboot, where we do short and sweet, quick interviews to inspire you while encouraging myself along the way. Let's see who we have on today. Catch you on the other side. Right off the bat, I'm going to hit you with the question that most people dislike. So, who are you and what do you do?
Ooh, I like that question. I'm Jasmin. I'm from Germany and I'm a remote work coach. I'm traveling as a digital nomad and I'm helping others to do the same, find their style of working remotely.
Nice. A traveling digital nomad?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Please explain that. What does that
A
mean?
digital nomad, we are the privileged people that created a life where we can travel around the world. And some digital nomads, they do it slowly. They stay for a longer period, like months in one place, and then they move to different country. And I, for example, I stay a month in one city and then I continue my journey to wherever I want to go.
So let's talk about money. So how are you, not you personally, but like how are you affording to do this? Is it just different jobs along the way, or are you a remote worker that's working for one organization?
No, I am self-employed. I have my own coaching business. That's how I keep this going. I have some
Gotcha.
savings, of course.
Of course.
And actually, it's cheaper for me than living in Germany, like with the
Oh,
rent, with the electricity, with all the costs. If you book an Airbnb, for example, for longer than a month, you get a
mhm.
discount, which is why I do it a month in a city.
Okay, that makes sense, which actually goes off into my next question. Why you? Why do you feel the need to coach others on this? Like, what's so important about it to you, and why do you feel the need, the desire to teach other people about this?
You know what? If you would have asked me that question a few years ago, I couldn't answer it. I would, yeah, what makes me special? Why me? Like, ooh. But by now, because I've gone myself through some self-development, it's basically, why not me? And why not
Mm.
help people? I'm this crazy, gentle, kind person that goes out there and wants to change people and saying, you can do this, I can do it, you can do it. And I'm the best example of like I'm this disgustingly positive person.
So actually, you know what? You said something on, I think it was your Instagram page, and you were talking about energy and aligning with your energy and controlling your energy and kind of making sure you have the right energy to move into that space. So hearing you say this now, that had I asked you that question a year ago, it'd have been a little bit different. So what shifted for you? Like what was that energy for you?
My two things. So I was at a turning point. Everything went terribly wrong. I lost a loved person, like a person I really loved. I lost my job. I had trouble in the family. My life got everything came together. And I've been on a personal growth journey for months, if not years even. I started my coaching training with IPAC. I don't know if you heard about them,
Mm-mm,
the
mm-mm.
Institute for Performance Excellence in Coaching.
Okay.
And they have this strong energy coaching in terms of the human being is holistic, everything goes together. And this is where you can shift your energy, you can take control of your mindset and yeah, create a life you want by simply raising that awareness around that.
So I assume that with your own personal growth, your own growth development, and going to other coaches, I would assume that a lot of those different practices is kind of bled over into what you do and how you're coaching other people regarding their
Yes.
careers. And so my question about that is like, what are some of the hangups when you're talking about transitioning into remote work? I can only assume that would probably be a little bit scary for the average
Yes.
person.
Yeah, average, it's I'm scared, I can't do it. Like, what makes me special?
Yeah,
Why should
yeah.
I be able to handle this? I can't work remotely. And all those things is not, it should be a choice if you can work remotely or not. It should be about you. It should be about I want that or I don't want that because,
I
but it
love
should
that.
not be I can never do it. It's for other people. I could give you, when I started this digital nomad life, I could give you a million reasons why I could not have done this. The
Hmm.
money, the family, I could have found something,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I decided to don't. That slogan, like just do it. Here I am.
So, okay, I'm glad you said that. So, you say you just do it. So, let's shift to mental. Assuming that you consider yourself to be a sane person, assuming, okay? How do you deal with that, your own mental state of being? Because I would assume that you have old habits. Obviously, you're going to your own personal journey. How do you stop some of those old beliefs or those old habits from kind of sneaking back into your present?
Oh yeah, that's a hard one. There are days where I don't.
Mm.
Like if you would have asked me someone this morning, I was upset. The things were not like I wanted them to be. So I fell into that victim energy. Oh, I can never do this. Blah, 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 blah. And it helps if you create some routines, if you are kind to yourself, if you just
Oh, I
say, you know
love that.
what, it's okay today. No, it's not. Just let it happen. And I also have support from my partner,
Mm.
so he could like the support system you build around. Sometimes you call family, and I have sometimes days where I just talk to my sisters, and that's it. I don't need anything else.
I love that you said it, especially about being kind to yourself, because sometimes we are our biggest critics, and you don't
Oh
even
man,
recognize
yeah.
it. A lot of times, that self-talk sneaks in, and you forget, you're a human, like you're someone that you love. Treat yourself as such.
Yeah, and you
Like
could be happy 24/7. It's just not reality.
why not? Why? I love that you said that. I really, because honestly, I remember my own story in dealing with positivity, and I remember people trying to hold me accountable for being the positive guy. And I'm just like,
Mhm.
dude, don't do that, because I'm gonna let you down 100% of the time. Like, because I have my good days, I have my bad days, and so I ebb and flow, which is why I ask you about your mental state. So I love that you said that. One of those things for you is being kind to yourself. I love that. So my next question for you is, so the life that you're living now, let's talk about spirituality just a little bit. The life that you're currently living, is this something that you planned for, that you prayed for, that you, I don't know, put on your vision board, or you manifested? Like how did this come about for you?
I had a long period where I sat down with myself and went through, so come on, what do we actually believe? What are our values? Because I was living a life, but it was more like life living me. So, and I really
Oh,
had to go sit down there and go through, maybe the vision board is the best example, go through these areas of my life. Like, what do I believe about money? Mindset. It's a huge thing, right? But it's a thing. You have to really actually know, what do you believe about this? What do you want to believe, and how can you get there?
how did that process look for you? Is it something you wrote down, and I don't know, a
Yeah.
30-day challenge, a 90-day challenge? Like, what was that process like for you?
Yeah, it took for some, I figured out the area, you can find everything on the internet.
Of course.
So find out the areas about you wanna go through, and then I sometimes took me days, sometimes hours. I just went through it. Some thoughts, some premises, they really sat with me, and it took me longer. And I did this like years ago, and just last week I had another realization, because it doesn't stop, right? It continues and continues.
I love that you said that, because this journey, it is not like an endpoint. And I learned that from
Mm.
Abraham Hicks. Like, you never get it done. Like, it is never done. You're consistently evolving. You're always learning something else. There's always another area that you need to tackle, or at least find a way to maneuver
Yeah.
around it. And so it's always something, just, and not necessarily in a bad way, but it's just you're always evolving. When you're talking about coaching others transitioning into remote work, what are some of their common hiccups or hangups?
The self-belief,
Just
they
the
are
self-belief.
mostly stuck because they're holding themselves back. Like, you can be your worst enemy, like you mentioned before, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just like that. You believe things, you have those blind spots, and
Mm-hmm.
you're not even aware that you have them. So I love asking clients the question, what is this approach costing you? And you can just see it in their face. They're just like, oh my God, like, what? And then it's like, oh yeah, I'm stuck here in this place. I don't want to be here. And if I don't have opportunities, you're just wasting your life away. And just asking simple questions makes you aware of this. Even if you think you know yourself. I have the same reaction. I'm also being coached, right? Sometimes my coach asks me questions. You did not just ask me that. Like, how dare you?
But that's the purpose, to challenge you, to get you thinking outside of the box that you kind of created for yourself.
Exactly.
Freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. So what's next for you?
More traveling, establishing my business further, growing, failing through growing, making those mistakes. Yeah, next countries, I'm Southeast Asia still. So yes, gonna be Japan next in a few months. So yeah, just living
So
the
do you
life.
you're planning it out throughout the year, or how does that
Yeah.
look? 5-year plan,
When my
two? Go ahead.
My partner does most of the planning because he likes it more organized. I'm okay if next week we are somewhere else or something. I'm fine with that. But it's actually really nice to know where you're gonna be half year from now on. Plus, it's cheaper if you plan in advance.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That's something I definitely need to look into. I will say, when you're talking about the transitioning piece, I was one of those people. Like I was, because I was on a job for probably 12 plus years. And I realized that I kind of was climbing the wrong ladder for me, so to speak. And so
Happens.
this last year, I literally transitioned over, still within the same organization. Okay. Yes. But completely different department. And so I don't have the stress. Started to make more money, had a chance to kind of reboot this show. I had an opportunity to do my yoga, to get back to my meditating and get back to what I actually want. But I agree with you. Like, one of the hardest decisions was making the decision to leave behind and do that transition. Like, it was definitely, it was very, very stressful. Thankfully, I had a partner that supported me, but it was very, very stressful just to be able to let go what I thought I was, what I thought was serving me, when realistically it was killing me. No, it was very tough. Yeah, it was
And
very,
you're comfortable in the misery, like the brain. If
yeah.
the brain has to choose the common pain or the unknown pain, that could be so much worse. Then
Yes.
it goes for what it knows. It's normal. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad to know that I'm normal.
In this area.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I'm going to take it where I can get it. I'm going to take it. So I do have one final question for you. But before I ask that question, how can people get a hold of you? How can people continue to be inspired by you?
I have my Instagram, simply remote work coach, one word, starting up, where I share a bit about how you can do this, my tips for everything around remote work. And I have a website with this jasminschubert.com. If you can find, I'm not written with an E. So maybe you find it in writing. Go on my Instagram and it's going to lead you there. It's all connected.
Awesome. Thank you so much for what you do. And so my question for you, my final question for you is, what has inspired you today?
Oh, today actually my partner, by me being so negative, not so negative, but I had this down and I didn't even really have to say something. He was just very calm, understanding, supportive even, like really nice. And it was exactly what I needed in the moment. And I remember we had also some rough times. I was like, man, this is really nice. We are really actually growing. And this is something that I really I should work towards that, this growth, this understanding. It's beautiful.
That's so amazing. It's going to make me cry. Because I'm going through that right now with my husband. We're literally, we've been together for 13 years. And so we're going through that too. And so when you have those moments, it's not like an aha moment, but it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm glad I chose the right partner. Like, I'm glad we've grown together. I'm glad I can see your growth. I see mine. This feels good. Like, thank you. Like, I needed that. Yeah, I get it. Well, thank you so much. That is a great place to end the show. Thank you so very much for agreeing to come on. Everyone else, we're going to see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.